Click, click. Saying words. Testes, testes.
Words.
1, 2, 3.
I'm mixing myself a nice chocolate milk.
Oh,
with
the
a little
drink of the
something in it.
gods. With a little something else.
Yeah.
Wow. Alrighty. Clap time?
Not bad. Okay. Yep. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
That was a really bad clap. But it spiked.
Did it show? Can I
It showed. It showed.
Okay.
It just sounded bad.
Okay, cool. As long as I can tell. Hello, everyone!
Hey.
Okay, well, I am actually going to do that again because that was way too loud.
That was a lot of energy.
I'm going to turn down.
Killing
Hello, everybody!
That's good level.
There we go.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on the internet.
We're not gonna fill the void and make this go out longer than it needs to be at all. We're not trying to fill up time and speaking in circles whatsoever.
There is no reason why we are trying to draw out this episode.
If there are any historians listening or people who actually know things about presidents, you probably know why we're trying to spread this out a little.
Turn this baby into an hour-long podcast. Maybe we shouldn't tell the audience why. Let's surprise them.
I'd like to know though if there was anybody listening, if they were like knew my disappointment I was going to feel though, because I feel like I mentioned in the past that I was really excited about this president, mostly based on his physical portrait. He just there was something about him that was like sweet grandpa nose or something where I'm just like, man, he's going to be there's something about him, and my heart's been broken this day.
Could it have been the fact that he was the first well, first of all, the president we're doing today is William Henry Harrison.
Bless.
Probably never heard of him. But he one notable thing about him, and there's not much, is that he is the first president to have his photo taken in office, like an actual photo.
There you go.
They took a photo on his inauguration day, I think, and then maybe one more, and then they're like, that's enough photos of this guy. Try not to spoil it.
Spoilers. I'd like to know what that photo looked like, see if you looked at it maybe a little bit, sallow.
Do they have it here on this page? Oh, they don't have his photo for some reason. It's kind of a big deal. Okay, well, anyways, so there's this. I was told this last week as I was talking about this guy that there's a episode from The Simpsons. Called a song where it's like the presidents that no one aren't notable. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I'll play it because.
I think I found the photo. It looks a lot like his portrait.
Yeah, it's a song. If you want, the audience wants to Google it. It's called "The Mediocre Presidents."
I'm gonna save that for myself for later.
Yeah. Put that up, or we could put it. I don't know if we're allowed, if the Simpsons will let us do it, but
I'm already in. It looks great just by the thumbnail.
Okay, so I'll give a quick summary of his career before he was president.
Okay.
He was a military officer, and the 9th president of the United States. He started off kind of as a. He was a slave owner, and he lived in like the Indiana. He was from Virginia, but he eventually moved to Indiana. And he was kind of it'll say here. He was a senator, for Ohio. And then he was also governor. He was the governor of Indiana. As it was getting started out there. And he has a famous nickname, Old Tippy Canoe, for a battle that he was in, the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, right before the War of 1812. and it was a battle between the Americans and the Native Americans, whom they were butting heads with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
For obvious reasons, that they were taking their land. And surprisingly, so there's one really interesting character called Tecumseh. I think that's how you say it.
Tecumseh? Yeah.
Yeah, Tecumseh. Very interesting character. A Native American of the Great Lake region, who kind of was a leader in trying to get the tribes to unite together. The Kickapoo Piankesa. I'm not going to be able to pronounce them. I don't think the and the Ilwin. But there's a really cool. That'd be a cool character to look up. If maybe my favorite president is Tecumseh.
Tecumseh.
How do you say it?
Tecumseh.
Tecumseh.
Yeah, even though it's a say, it's a C. I actually, fun fact, I grew up on a Tecumseh Street, and my public school was Tecumseh.
Whoa, you just doxed yourself, Dutch.
Did I? There's.
Whoops.
I mean, it's not in the town I currently have any association with anymore.
Okay. As long as no super fans will be walking your street looking for you.
Nope. We don't live there. My family doesn't live there anymore, so I don't go there. Yeah. That's how I know how to say it, because we had a lot of
Cool.
paraphernalia in our school.
It means shooting star. Tecumseh. Okay, say it one more time.
Tecumseh.
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 And it just means shooting star, and eventually in the War of 1812 he kind of helped the British because he was so fed up with the Americans that they kind of like helped them out in the War of 1812. He was a Whig. Should I just say it? I'm trying to
folks, don't get too attached.
don't get too attached to this old man, because he
president.
dies and then died a month later.
Yep. And I think to this day the shortest sitting president.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how long was Liz Truss? Not she was a president, but
she was prime minister. I think she lasted a couple months.
How many Scaramucci's is do you know about the Scaramucci's?
I don't know. No.
Do you remember Anthony Scaramucci?
No.
He was working. I think he was like what was his job? During the Trump administration, he was the White House communications director, and he was. I think it was like 11 days that he was in the position.
And Liz Truss lasted 49 days, so she lasted over a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a couple of Scaramucci's. They now use like a Scaramucci as a measurement of how long one is in public career.
Got it. I feel like that'd be a good term for relationships too. Like if someone checks in with you and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's their face doing?" Scaramucci, and then that just like ends the conversation because you don't want to talk about it, and then people know
it's like mum's the word kind of thing.
Yeah, like Scaramucci's. It only lasts, or you could just even say Liz Truss, and it lasts as long as Liz Truss. Ouchie, mama.
Ouchie. Yeah, I think Liz Truss was 4 weeks.
49 days. So
okay, so she even beat William Henry Harris.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
The cool thing about, I mean, not the cool thing, but like the funny thing about the Wikipedia page is just how like in great detail it goes into his first month of office, which is kind of cool because you don't really see that for any other presidents. Like, but apparently a lot of people were like sucking up to him and trying to get in his good books and like currying his favor.
Classic.
Okay, so he died. But in his like presidential campaign, he ran under the slogan "Tippy Canoe" and "Old Tippy Canoe and Tyler too," because as you might know, Dutch, his vice president because he died, eventually became the next president, John Tyler.
Oh, so would he have taken over and then get reelected?
Yeah, so this is one interesting thing that I did find about it is back then they didn't really know what the plan was because they just made it up, and it was long enough that they had to interpret it
right
for themselves, right?
I guess it's like, do they just have an election all over again, even though they just had one
A month ago? Yeah,
and it's just the first time that they've had a president die during their term, so they had to then, okay, now we got to make up rules for what happens if something happens to the president.
Mm-hmm. And apparently there was a lot of drama over how long he was supposed to be president. Like Tyler, what's his face? I already forgot his name. Another mediocre president, John Tyler. So apparently they're like, should we just like have him president until we have another election immediately, or should he complete the term?
Right. I guess they went with complete the term.
Yep, it seems so. Yeah. So he died. He was Henry Harrison was died on in April 4th, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And then on April 5th, Fletcher Webster, son of the Secretary of State Daniel Webster, notified Tyler that Harrison had died in office. Tyler had been visiting family in Williamsburg, and Tyler arrived in Washington the morning of April 6th, the same day Tyler was sworn into office in front of Harrison's cabinet. And then 3 days later, Tyler gave a brief inaugural address to address the nation and did not... I guess I'm kind of getting into your president actually next week, but he did not have any personal consolation for the widow. And it's just like... the funny thing is about the president next week is that he initially ran as a Whig, but then once this guy died, he
switched over,
went back to his roots. Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Because it's that's a very political move, and I feel like they're starting to be more I don't want to say smart with their choices, but it's now becoming that classic political debate kind of situation where I'm sure he chose to be that party knowing that there was a more chance for him to be vice president than the other. So now it's the switch over, and he's proven himself as president, so he can kind of choose whatever party he wants to be a part of. Or at least that's how I interpret it. Mm-hmm. But who am I? I'm just Dutch.
Yeah, just an old Dutch.
Just an old Dutch
in the future.
Living in a Dutch world.
Living in the future. Another kind of interesting thing was how they... Okay, so apparently on the day of William Henry Harrison's inauguration, it was raining out, but he wanted to give a tough appearance, so he didn't wear a coat or anything. And he gave a long, rambling speech. And at the time, people thought that he died because he got caught a cold on inauguration day. But later, more recently, they kind of did an analysis of his symptoms and stuff. And they concluded that he likely died of septic shock due to enteric typhoid, because the White House was apparently downstream of some sewage.
Oh.
So I guess he moved into the White House and then got typhoid?
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. It was just uncleanly.
Exactly. You think that the White House would be in better real estate?
I mean, yes and no, because I feel like it's been... even then, it had probably been there for so long that... Who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows?
And they probably didn't know back then that you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Living in shit.
This just in. Don't live in shit, guys.
Don't live in shit.
It's actually bad.
It's very unhygienic. Have you ever seen the movie 12 Years a Slave?
That's actually one I have not seen, and I know it won an Oscar, so it's crazy that I haven't seen it.
It's about a guy named Solomon Northup who was not a slave, but then he ended up becoming one just because through force, racism? I guess. Yeah. And then he was a slave for 12 years, as the book and the movie states in the title. Mm-hmm. But in his book, he gave an account of the procession of the when he died. So here, I'll read it verbatim. The next day, there was a great pageant in Washington. The roar of cannon and the tolling of bells filled the air, while many houses were shredded with crepe and the streets were black with people. As the day advanced, the procession made its appearance, coming slowly through the avenue, carriage after carriage, in long succession, while thousands upon thousands followed on foot, all moving to the sound of melancholy music. They were bearing the dead body of Harrison to the grave. I remember distinctly how the window glass would break and rattle to the ground after each report of the cannon they were firing in the burial ground. Whoa.
Wow. I love the descriptive words of the past.
Yeah.
Like just saying the line that was the streets are like black with people, which I assumes it's they're like somber attitudes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or maybe they're just wearing black clothes.
Yeah, in mourning.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of interesting to get a first account of it. And my favorite part is about how the doctor treated him as on his deathbed. Opium, leeches, and castor oil. That's what it said. Three of the things that will cure you quickly.
Very unrelated to the current topic, but just because I said earlier Dutch, which is my name, I forgot about. Do you ever have those double Dutch cookies? Those like syrupy kind of like wafer cookies. They're Dutch so cookies? Good. Yeah, they're big. They're probably the size of like a tiny like tea plate. Maybe almost like 5 inches, and they're like a syrupy caramelized.
They're like kind of like pancakes almost.
Kind of like pancakes, but they're harder.
Like waffles.
So good. Anyways, that just popped into my head that those existed, and I haven't had one in forever, and I needed to share.
Are they just like hard waffles?
Basically, yeah. They're not like crunchy. They're soft when you bite into them, but there's a density to them. And they're like caramel syruped cookies. Mm-hmm. They're very delicious.
No, I'm just looking at pictures of cookies now.
Yeah. What's your favorite cookie?
I'm a sucker for the old chocolate chip. A good oatmeal chocolate chip. Can't go wrong.
That's good, because that makes you feel like you're eating something that's at least a little bit healthy, that's got some stuff in it. Yeah. Because I remember when I make cookies, I always realize, I'm like, Jesus, there's a lot of fucking sugar in these things when you make them yourself.
Yeah, when you have to measure out like a cup of, or how much sugar you put in cookies. Yeah.
Jeez, like I know it's spread around the rest of the cookies, but still.
Yeah, but I eat the whole thing like that day, so I might as well just eat all that sugar in the cup.
I would say that my favorite cookie is a ginger snap cookie. Mm-hmm. Or a classic Oreo.
Oh yes, a good old Oreo.
Really good. Yeah, double stuffed.
Ooh, I think that's too much stuff for me. Don't they have like half stuffed ones?
They do have they have the thin ones now, so it's like not only is it like less icing, it's like a thinner cookie. They also have a carrot cake one that's really delicious. Mm-hmm. And
I saw recently. It was peach Oreos, and it was in like a Chinese grocery store. They had peach Oreos, and then what was the other one? It was green. What was it? Was it chai? I don't know. Chai Oreos.
Chai Oreos? I've never heard of that before.
Matcha. It was matcha.
Oh, matcha. Okay.
Matcha Oreos.
Very cute. Very good. I love there's a chocolate. There's a matcha chocolate that I usually get at the store near me. That's really good. Anyways, back to Harrison after we've talked about cookies.
That's our little. It's our new segment called Cookie Corner. We talk about cookies in every sense.
And starting now.
Next week we'll be talking about here's the exit jingle for Cookie Corner.
Cookies.
Cookie corner. We'll record that. I mean, we just recorded it, but we'll clip that and we'll add some music and then add it. Next week we'll talk about internet cookies.
Internet cookies. Like the cookies that I accept when I go to a website?
Yeah. The one that you have to always acknowledge every time you go to a new website. Yeah.
Why is that? Is it just because of memory?
I think it's because of Europe. Those pesky Europeans, they passed a law where they now have to have you have to acknowledge. Yeah, but so they do it in the most annoying way possible, that you'll just click OK.
Yeah.
which is worse. I can just disable cookies in the browser. Why don't now I have to have this read this pop up and try and figure out how to say no.
Dang Europeans.
Have you ever heard of dark patterns?
No.
It sounds scarier than it is, but it's a term for graphic design in web design, and it's just like a misleading design to kind of get you to do something that you probably wouldn't usually do. It's a deceptive design pattern.
Right. Where there's it's almost like that sometimes in video games, I find sometimes, where it's like you go to click the exit or you go to click the craft and it's in a weird spot and you click cancel by accident.
Or they'll change the color, cancel to green, so you'll click the green instead of the red.
Right.
Classic misdirection.
If there are people out here that play Mario Party, I was playing once with a few friends, and one of my friends tried to pull a fast one on a newbie player, where they were trying to get the star, and they convinced the person to say no thank you, because they give you 2 stars, and they actually clicked no thank you, and then they were really mad, and we almost lost a friend that day.
Whoa.
Yeah. Dark patterns,
man.
Dark patterns.
Gotta be careful. Sometimes our friends are dark patterns.
Sometimes friends are dark patterns. It's true. You gotta keep the good people around you guys. Sometimes you gotta cut the dark patterns loose.
And the people that don't give you time of day, cut them out of your life.
Just cut them out, guys.
Cut them out.
Just go on a walk. Go touch grass. Call your dad. You're in a cult.
Call your dad. Yeah, you're in a cult. Okay, so let me see this. Surely there's something I can say about this president. Here's an interesting thing. So he was the governor of Indiana. This will clinch that you won't like this guy. He was the governor of Indiana, and he was trying, they didn't have slaves in Indiana, and he as governor, he was trying to get slaves legalized. So, and then everyone in Indiana was like, no, we don't want that. And he's like, sure you do. And they're like, no, we don't.
Indiana was part of the North, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was, let me get a little American map up here. Just pictures of Indiana. Map.
When does the Civil War happen again?
1812?
No, no, because the war was it that?
Oh, Indiana is not north. It's north, but it's right near the Great Lakes.
Oh, yeah, it's not like.
Oh, the Civil War. Oh, the Civil War doesn't happen until
61.
Abe Lincoln.
1861.
1861. So I guess.
Yeah. So another 20 years still.
So who do we got president? So we got John Tyler, who is same term as this guy, and then so I guess there's 6 guys before Lincoln.
Yeah. So basically, because we touched on a little bit when we were talking about Martin Van Buren last week, where things are starting to bubble. It's as much as the war didn't officially start, there was still heads bumping and legislation that was people were fighting over. So this whole him being I'm gonna bring it to Indiana. That's where the kind of non-slave states versus the slave states are starting to like fight and like be like, no, that's not right. We can't do that. We shouldn't do that type of thing.
I'm a little curious if this guy ever changed his mind. It didn't say has changed his mind about slavery because apparently he after he was like okay, so I kind of skipped over his career because I just went straight to his death. But after the Battle of Tippecanoe, he was he took part in the War of 1812, and he had a position. Let's see if I can find it. But he eventually got demoted. Kind of in for just because of the guy who like was demoted him didn't really care for him, I guess, like, or he was mouthing him off or something. I can't say for sure. But he got demoted and he eventually retired before the war ended, I think. And then he moved to Ohio. And then he kind of just he lived in the shack and made whiskey.
Honestly, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the dream. And he just and then but eventually after making enough whiskey, he realized that it was a sin, and then he stopped making whiskey. And then he ran for president, and then he died.
Man, he should have just kept making whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
He would have lived a fruitful life
with no septic.
Yeah.
No. The funny thing is not funny, but he ran for president against Van Buren, and he lost to him. But they had a lot of like Whigs.
Yeah.
Going up against each other. It's just like every person for themselves.
Yep.
Not that Van Buren was a Whig, but they didn't really. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised why they didn't last long. They didn't seem very organized.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, because it was.
Oh, sorry. I just realized I didn't finish my thought though. So
that's okay. Go.
He was apparently really pro-slavery at the beginning, but at the end it says here when he was a private citizen. About this time, he met abolitionist and Underground Railroad conductor George de Baptiste, who lived in nearby Madison, and the two became friends. And Harrison wrote at the time, "We might look forward to a day when a North American son would not look down upon a slave." And de Baptiste became his valet and later White House steward. So I guess it's possible he changed his mind in his life. So.
And didn't he
I'm
have
not entirely sure why, though.
He had like 10 kids.
Oh yeah, this guy also had kids with a slave, I'm pretty sure.
Yikes. So not a nice grandpa. I'm kind of glad he died within a month.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
It's all coming back.
That it's not confirmed though, but it's maybe that's why he changed his mind, just because he had a bunch of kids.
Rough.
I'm trying to remember what I learned here. Clearly, I learned nothing.
Well, yeah, so the one thing I was going to say before, so we had George Washington, who was unaffiliated. John Adams was a Federalist. And then Thomas Jefferson was a Democratic Republican. James Madison, Democratic Republican. James Monroe, Democratic Republican. And then John Quincy was a Democratic Republican but switched over to a National Republican, which was basically like the Whigs before they were the Whigs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Andrew Jackson, who was a Democratic, because then you've got this split, and Martin Van Buren, who's a Democratic, and then you've got the Whigs. And then by the time we get to Abraham Lincoln, that's when you get the Republican. And then basically from there on, it goes back and forth between Democratic and Republican. Because the two parties just kind of associate all of the unaffiliated and other types of parties that they're in, political parties at least.
Mm-hmm. Was the National Union like just a war party?
I think so.
The name was used to attract war. Huh. Yeah, I said it once before, but we should make a new party.
What would you name it?
Well, what do we stand for?
Whiskey?
Whiskey, yeah, whiskey, cabins.
Cabins. Giggles.
Our first decree, everyone gets whiskey.
Yes. Everyone gets sent a bottle of whiskey on their birthday, whether they're 2 years old or 60.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to drink the whiskey.
They can't drink it.
So they can collect it, and it will age.
It'll age for them. So they'll get a cask that ages. Each year they'll get a cask, and then they'll have a lifetime supply of whiskey.
And then
investing in the future.
Should we lower the drinking age?
No, I think because ours is what, 16? No, 19.
It depends what province we're in, which we.
That's true.
In Quebec,
it's 19.
In Alberta, I think it's lower. Have you ever been to Alberta?
No.
They have, like, to my knowledge, that you can buy alcohol at 3 a.m.
Wow.
From my experience.
I do remember going to Quebec, I think is also 18. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in Quebec for a school trip.
Where I grew up, a lot of people went to Quebec to party.
Like across
or
the
to
river?
Get beer. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's so close. Yeah.
Well, maybe not that close. Who knows?
Who knows? I did experience the Costco in Quebec. I think it was in Quebec. Mm-hmm. And where you can get, like, a 64 case of 64 beer for, like, $65. So it's, like, $1 beer. And me and my friend went there to visit friends and then drove back. And we were riding low because we had a few cases of beer in the back.
The bumpers sagging on the back.
Yep, they were real heavy.
Whatever happened to Buck a Beer? Do you remember that?
I mean, I think it's still a thing, but it's very limited where you can get it. It's the beer store only. And it's like the shit beer. Yeah.
Is it the yellow beer? Is that just a Canadian thing? I don't know. Is in Canada.
The no-name beer?
Yeah, in Canada we have the beer that is just a yellow can and it says beer in black text. And it's
no name.
Oh, I got it. I wish I could find out.
It's the most unadvertising but advertised item because they went off because they did a clothing line. You could get like a no-name where it was like a yellow shirt.
That's what it is. It's no name. That's the brand name.
Yeah, it's
they
basically
don't even have a name.
President's Choice, No Name, and Compliments are like the three like low tier companies.
Are those the beers that are $1?
I think so. Yeah, that and also I think if you go to the beer store, like your classic Canadian and Crystal, I think is $1. But I think you have to buy like a case. Like it's not like you can't just go in and buy like one beer for $1. Mm-hmm. I think you have to like buy it in the bulk situation.
My internet's crud tonight. Yeah, so it does exist. I was promised a buck of beer.
And it exists. You just haven't participated.
Probably garbage. Have you ever heard of Prophetstown?
No. Tell me more.
It's I learned about it as I was learning about William Henry Harrison. I'm gonna forget his name so quick. Prophetstown.
William Henry Harrison.
It's too many H's, and not enough H's. There should be 3 H's. William Henry Harrison.
Well, you could do Bill Henry Harrison.
Bill Henry.
Billy Harry.
Billy Harry. Henry Harry. Okay, but so Prophetstown was a Native American village founded in 1808 by Shawnee leaders Tecumseh and his brother Tenskwatawa, which means the prophet.
Oh.
North of present-day Lafayette, Indiana. So there was like a little town where wow, I'm surprised. Oh no, this is I'm on the wrong page here. Prophetstown. Apparently there's a park there now. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. It was like a little it was kind of like a hub for the Native American tribes, and they'd all get together there.
Gather.
I kind of wish I learned more about. I haven't been like it's been so small in the Wikipedia page so far that I'd have to branch out.
And that's a scary thought.
Mm-hmm. Because they burnt it down. This guy did, Henry Harrison, to my knowledge.
Rude.
Yeah. He didn't seem like a very good guy. Like a lot of people at the time were like, it's funny seemed like complete assholes, but it seems like a lot of them had changed in their lifetime.
Hmm.
But apparently he didn't do anything to reflect that fact.
How?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what?
How old was he when he died?
Oh, he was an old fart. He was like he's like the fourth oldest president before Trump and Biden. Let's see.
And that's just because, like, our life expectancy doubles.
Yeah, and also like we live in a geriatric state now where people have lifetime appointments in the States. Let's see here. 41. No. So he was okay. So he was 68, which is like still pretty old.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Not old for like our time, but old for them.
Back then he was old.
Back then, yeah. Interesting.
He was also the last president who was born like British, kind of British in quotes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Where the president before Martin was like a born like American.
I think he was the first.
Say.
He was the first one, and then the next one was the last one. The first one who wasn't. I mean.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Interesting.
So what else? We should branch out. Branch out, and we can learn something new here. What's something that you kind of have been like putting off learning? We could learn what a wig is more concretely.
That's true. That's
true.
I
still don't feel confident I know what a wig is.
Yeah, I just know it as like a party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing I have is, tell me what type of coffee. We can tell you what kind of coffee you are. Or,
oh yeah. You said you had it was what magazine?
Or there's find out what. No, I went to BuzzFeed because the J14 magazine quizzes weren't as reliable. They're a bit sketchy.
And so we're going straight to the source of BuzzFeed.
We're going straight to BuzzFeed.
The oracle
you can
of
find
truth.
out what your 2023 aesthetic is.
Okay, yeah, sure. How much is this going to ask personal information about me? I'll just lie.
Not a lot.
Okay,
not
cool.
a lot. It's basically like, so the first question is, pick a word that describes yourself. Loyal, hilarious, goofy, or quiet.
Well, probably all of those. Can I only have to pick one?
You only gotta pick one. If you were to rate them 1 to 5, what would be your number 1?
Say them again.
Loyal.
These are my choices, right? It's like
these are your choices out of 4. Loyal, hilarious, goofy, quiet.
I'd say goofy.
Goofy. Okay, that's what I was gonna say too. If you picked quiet, I was like, you're lying.
Well, I'm quieter when I'm not on a podcast. It's not doesn't make for a good podcast.
When the entertainment isn't turned on.
Yeah.
What would you bring to a potluck? Brownies,
napkins,
mac and cheese, potato salad, or pigs in a blanket?
I'd probably bring mac and cheese, but I'd definitely like to eat pigs in a blanket.
Okay, so if I come to a potluck, I will bring pigs in a blanket.
Perfect.
Which one of these movies genres is your favorite? Romance, horror, comedy, or fantasy?
I'd probably say fantasy. I'd prefer.
Fantasy? Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of encompasses like adventure and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pick a random celebrity to invite over for a slumber party. Jennifer Coolidge.
Is that who's that? Is that Calvin
Jennifer
Coolidge's?
If you've watched White Lotus or Legally Blonde.
Oh,
she's the one that goes, I feel like a hot dog.
In Legally Blonde?
Yeah, she was like the buddy. She was like her friend that at the salon.
Oh,
And then,
yeah,
like-
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Bend
taught
and
me
snap
the bend
lady.
and snap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's go.
Okay, yeah.
So Jennifer Coolidge, Mindy Kaling, Zendaya, or Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly Parton, probably.
Dolly Parton for the sleepover. Perfect.
Or the first one.
Oh.
She was pretty cool.
Jennifer Coolidge?
Yeah, but I probably Dolly Parton would probably be.
Dolly Parton. Okay, let's go for your instincts. You said it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pick another word to describe yourself. Stubborn, impatient, suspicious, or immature.
Stubborn for sure.
Stubborn. Oh, wow. It's quick on that one. Pick a celebrity guy to go to an escape room with. Morgan Freeman, Chris Evans, Harry Styles, or Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. He's also feels very smart.
Yeah. And like he just seems like a chill guy.
And he's a chill guy. He's pretty polite too. I've heard stories of him just being like an alright dude.
Yeah.
If you won $1 million, what would you do first? Buy a house and a new car, pay off any student loans or mortgages, make a big donation to a charity, or I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do any
Pretend
of those.
it's... Yeah, I mean, I would probably buy a house. That'd be pretty sick.
Meh.
Pretend it's your birthday. What kind of cake do you want? Red
Jesus.
velvet, matcha crepe cake, vegan carrot cake, or chocolate fudge cake? I like that you just said cheese, but I think you're trying to say cheesecake.
Yeah. Fudge cake. Fudge.
Chocolate fudge cake.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's this gonna tell me about myself?
It's going to tell you what your 2023 aesthetic is.
My aesthetic. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So it's just basically what you got to live by for this year. And finally, what do you want to improve on in 2023? Your friendships, your romantic relationships, your financial situation, your health, and personal growth.
My health is that the same one, or my health is like my
Health / personal growth, but you don't have to do both.
Yeah, my goal is to get one of my goals this year is to get a doctor.
Classic.
Go to the
This
doctor.
is it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, what's
your
my
2023 aesthetic is Western core. Yeehaw!
even know what that means.
It's time. It's basically like
I
country.
think it's meant to be said in a cowboy voice.
All right.
Whatever you have to.
You got
to
it.
me.
Okay. Yeehaw! It's time to channel your inner Yellowstone vibes. Suit up in tweed, put on a pair of your worn-in cowboy boots, and don't forget to leather and fringe.
You kind of sound like Ruth from Ozarks. Ozark?
Oh.
Do you ever watch that show?
What's that line? I haven't watched it, but I've
Marty.
seen the scene where she says, "If you're gonna stop me, you might as well kill me." That one?
Yeah. Her
Yeah.
curly hair Ruth. So I'm a cowboy now.
Yeah, Western
Is that
core.
like
So,
fudge
I guess
Or I think the Dolly Parton thing swung at.
Dolly Parton feels to have swayed it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of that would really do that.
Okay. So, yeah, I know that's strange.
And I guess mac and cheese, maybe.
Maybe mac and cheese.
Mac
So
and cheese.
could you do it, but pretend like I'm asking you the questions?
I mean, sure.
Here-
I mean,
here-
okay. I'll say them out loud.
I'll ask you the questions from memory.
Okay.
So the first question is what is it again?
It's a pick a word to describe yourself.
Oh yeah. So
I'm gonna go with hilarious
Okay.
because I think I'm less goofy, but I think I'm pretty hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
The next is potluck. I'm bringing that
Mac.
potato salad.
I thought you said pigs in a blanket.
Oh, that's true.
Nice.
I'll say pigs in
So
a
you're
blanket
not
then.
bringing pigs in a blanket? No. Be
I'll
true
bring-
to
okay, I
yourself.
switched.
But I'm just
Well,
hedging
I
my
do- here's the thing.
expectations now that I
What
know
I
that there's not
normally
gonna be
do
pigs
is
in a blanket.
bring a potato salad or a salad of some sort. But if I was going to your potluck, I would bring pigs in the blanket.
Right. Well, say your first inclination, because
Okay.
you don't have to.
Potato salad is.
You did promise me pigs in a blanket.
Yes. But it's not like I'd bring it every single time, but just the next to potluck,
Right,
I'll
okay,
promise.
good.
Yeah. And then the next is favorite genre for a TV or just movie, I guess, genres, and I will also choose fantasy.
Oh, careful, you might be Western.
I'm inviting Jennifer Coolidge because
Of
I love her
course.
so much. And I will pick for my word. Another word to describe myself is I'm not impatient. I'm pretty patient. I'm not, I guess, I wouldn't say I'm stubborn. But I'm not
That's exactly what
suspicious.
someone who was stubborn would say.
Stubborn? Alright, I'll pick stubborn.
No, you're not. Are you stubborn?
I don't think so.
Well, then don't say it. You sound very
Alright,
persuadable.
I'll pick immature. I'll pick immature because sometimes I say rude things. And then I'm also agreeing. I'm bringing Keanu Reeves to the escape room,
That's a no-brainer.
and winning $1 million. I think I'd buy a house and a new car. And for it's my birthday. Not a fan of red velvet, just because. Fun fact: it's just chocolate cake with red food coloring. So really, there's not
What?
anything different. Yep, there's nothing in red velvet that makes it red velvet except for food coloring. I'm not a huge fan of carrot cake, so I'm gonna have to go with the matcha crepe cake because it just looks fun.
Can't believe
And
they
then
made
finally,
cheesecake.
what do I want to improve upon in 2023? Probably I'm gonna go the same: my health and personal growth.
Yeah, that's a go-to.
And I got rom-com core is my
It's always gotta be
aesthetic for the
core.
2023. Embrace your inner main character in 2023 with fashion from the early aughts. Channel inspiration from the iconic yellow silk gown from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, or Jennifer Garner's striped number from 13 going on 30. Don't forget to slip dresses, tube tops, and mini skirts and cargo pants.
Cargo pants. Don't forget to have pants with pockets.
I mean, I
Never
did
enough
have
pockets.
my favorite pants when I was in high school were a pair of like black cargo pants that were like 3 times too big for me, and they had at least 20 pockets in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did I ever tell you
Felt
about my
pretty
favorite coat as a kid? It was green
Quota?
coat.
Oh, coat, gotcha.
It was a green coat, and it had like it was just filled with pockets. It was
Filled with
they
pockets.
like any space on the coat had a pocket. And I
Put
grew.
snacks in there.
Yeah, it was the best. And I felt like the coolest little kid. But I eventually grew out of it one year, and I was so disappointed I never would fit in it again.
Sag. Have you ever had that happen where you take your winter coat out of your closet and you put your hands in your pocket and then you find $10?
Yeah.
That's
If
so
I had
sweet. I
money
love
back
it.
then, I'd have so much money now.
So much money.
Do you know if that quiz was a fashion quiz?
I guess I interpreted aesthetic as like personality, but apparently it
Yeah.
meant like aesthetic, like your clothing. So you need to wear like denim and leather
Yeah.
as your like
Okay.
Western country core outfit for the year. And
Assless chaps,
assless chaps, a cowboy hat,
10-gallon hat,
plaid shirts,
carry a lasso.
yeehaw. Yeah. Go roping. And then I just have to go back to the 90s and just wear like old school 90s outfits.
Oh yeah, I think it's time we bring the '90s back. To be honest.
Honestly, it's happening. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
like videos of kids dressing, and I've seen some kids in the subways where I'm like, man, that's like you're wearing what I wore in high school. It's frightening.
What was so great about the
You long sleeves under t-shirts. You have that classic like white long sleeve under like a graphic tee.
Y2K.
Bell-bottom jeans. Y2K. We had some great TV shows, great movies that like do not hold up today. I don't know how they got away with a lot of stuff that they made back then.
Yeah, a lot of the '90s. I don't know, like not a lot of. There's some pretty good movies in the '90s, but not as good as the '80s. I'd say.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, I guess you got a lot more like kids content TV shows in the 90s, I feel
Sure,
like.
yeah.
Like I think I don't know what the kids are watching these days, but we had like Recess and
classic.
where's that one where they're like they're numbers and they live in a treehouse?
Numbers in a treehouse. Treehouse.
They're like each character. No, they're like kids, and they have these like big T-shirts, and there's number 1, number 2, number 4, and one wears like a little pilot's hat.
I don't know.
It's
a cartoon?
It's a cartoon where we're named numbers. I'm sure there's someone listening who's screaming it. Codename Kids Next Door.
Kids Next Door.
Kids Next Door. And they were like a secret agency. They were like kids, but then they had this like, I think they had a treehouse. But they like would have like meetings, and they'd be like a secret agency, and they would go on these like missions.
Yeah. Kim Possible.
Kim Possible.
What's the sitch?
Hey Arnold. Which Hey Arnold I love. It had a lot of lore. About like their home life and like the kids and like who they were.
I just googled Kim Possible and I got a really spicy picture.
Oh, what's that? What's that? The Rule 94 or something?
Rule 40, Rule 30.
Rule 30.
34.
I don't know. It's Rule something. You know the number.
Must be Rule 32. All right, I'm doing it. I'm Kim Possibling.
Oh no. Actually, I will say the current show that's out right now called Bluey is very good.
Oh yeah, everyone's telling me about that, and apparently it's funny for adults too.
It's fun. Yeah, they've done a really good job of keeping it kids content, but actually, the parents aren't gonna like pull their hair out for watching it.
Mm-hmm. I have heard good things from people I know who have kids.
I think they deal with a lot of like life lesson stuff that happens that like it's really eye-opening for like just kids to watch it and figure it out themselves.
There's not a lot of that these days. Good
well,
shows.
I think their broadcasters are scared to I think they're in fear of getting canceled. So they don't test the waters too much, but then some do it and they do it well.
There's really no adventure anymore.
Nope.
What other quizzes can we do?
I've got. Let's see.
Oh, here's a good one. Here, I'll quiz you, and I'm not going to tell you what.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what the quiz is.
What it's about? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's even better. It's like a blind react.
Yep. Okay, so you've suddenly found yourself surrounded by pools of water, plants, and stinky air. You're in a swamp. What goes through your mind? How the heck did I get here? Finally, home sweet home. Great, but where are my onions at? Now, where's this monstrosity Farquaad was talking about? Did I finally outrun this crazy dude? So many mosquitoes. I don't need malaria. Now where is he?
I already know what this quiz is.
Which one? Which one are you thinking of?
I think it's what Shrek character am I? Is what I'm gonna guess.
I can't say for sure.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the onion.
Classic. Okay, next question.
Great, but where's my onion?
Off in the distance, you see a weird green man approaching you, which is smelling like onions. It's Shrek. Angrily, he asks, "What are you doing in my swamp?"
What are you doing in my swamp?
What are you doing in my swamp? I don't know. You tell me. I'm looking for something or someone. He. I'm on the run from some crazy bastard. Or D. This isn't your swamp. It's mine.
I'm on the run from some crazy bastard.
All right. The algorithms. There's 14 questions, by the way. Shrek doesn't believe.
Is this like a choose your own adventure?
No, it's a quiz.
Wow. Okay.
Shrek doesn't believe a word, but to find out your true intentions, he starts asking you seemingly trivial questions. Describe your perfect home, he asks. A cute, warm cottage, a treehouse full of bugs and insects, a wet, marshy swamp, a massive castle, or a small house next to a big field of vegetables.
Oh, definitely the warm cottage.
Mm-hmm. You don't want a wet, marshy swamp?
No.
Okay, so
I mean, I would like. I mean, my future goal would become a bog witch eventually, but I don't know aesthetically if I'd really enjoy it.
yeah, that seems smelly. Okay, so next question. You can turn into any mythical creature. What are you transforming into? A dragon, elf, ogre, gnome, or cyclops?
A dragon?
Dragon.
Duh.
Oh, dragon? Yeah. Duh.
Yeah, dragon.
Which vegetable are you? An onion, a potato, a radish, cheese, pickle, or a tomato?
First of all, cheese is not a vegetable.
Hey, look, I didn't make the quiz. I'm simply stepping through it.
I'm gonna have to stick with onion.
Oh.
Even though maybe cheese, but I feel like onion's on track now.
Okay, we're almost halfway through. What is Lord Farquaad to you? You have three options. He's someone I look down upon, both physically and metaphorically. He is my beloved liege, or number 3, he is nobody to me, though I do find his hairstyle funny.
He is nobody to me, but I do find his hairstyle funny.
Ah, interesting. What would you do if you saw a dragon? I'd befriend it, I'd marry it, I'd kill it, or I'd run away.
I'd befriend it.
You wouldn't marry it?
No, I don't think, like, a dragon is a very, like, free beast. Like, I don't want to tie that down, you know? It's like, we can still have a relationship, but, like, I don't want to put a label on it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'm learning so much about you. Time for dessert. What are you eating? A gingerbread man, onions, or apple pie?
Apple pie.
Interesting.
Normally I'd say onions, but apple pie, like, I can't not.
Okay, so next question is, are you a cat person or a dog person? And here are your answers. Cats are the cutest thing on this planet. Dogs are way better than cats. I don't like either, or I like them both equally.
Oh, cats.
Cats? Cats are the cutest thing on this planet?
Cats are the cutest thing on this planet.
Okay, we have 4 questions left. If you could choose to be any real animal, what would you choose? A cat, a rabbit, a dog, a lion, a hamster, or a pig?
Probably a cat.
Oh, you really like cats, eh?
Yeah. I was gonna say dog, but then, like, a dog I have to go on walks.
Mm-hmm. Cats are low maintenance.
But cats just sleep and nap in the sun.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I can knock things off shelves and people will still love me.
I don't know if they'll still love you. They'll probably just tolerate you. What would you do if your friend was in a sticky situation? I do nothing, not my problem. I'd go and help them. That's what friends are for. Friends, never heard of them. Or I'd scream and cry and shout.
I would help my friend.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Okay, here we go. 12 of 14. How big is your forehead? Blasphemy. Why are you asking me this? I have a normal-sized forehead. I don't exactly measure my forehead, so I wouldn't know.
Blasphemy. How dare you ask me this question?
Interesting. All right, so now it has, what's your favorite color? And then the colors are green, yellow, white, blue, red, or purple.
Oh, my favorite color's not there. Green.
Green. Interesting. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Oh, purple's kind of pink. Okay.
Purple is kind of pink, but...
This is the last question. Describe your love life. The love of my life is the most beautiful being ever. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe the love of my life. The love of my life is funny and cute. I don't really care about looks. I don't feel love, only hate. The love of my life is round and white and fits in my hand. Hee hee. I don't know what that means. The love of my life is big and has green skin.
Funny and cute? Was that an option?
The love of my life is funny and cute. I don't care about looks.
Yeah. Though I do like the small white thing that can hold in my hand.
Which one would you? Which one describes your life better?
I guess funny and cute.
Okay, so let's see the results. So the quiz was, what are you doing in my swamp?
Oh.
All right, this is what you're gonna do. Your result is you got lost, Shrek says. Turns out you got lost. Silly you, Shrek says. The swamp isn't a very welcoming place. Find a map and take your leave. I don't need any intruders in my domain. Shrek turns around, wanting to leave. Do you happen to have a map? You dare to ask him. Shrek turns around angrily and screams at you. Leave now! Get out of my swamp! You run away from the green man, never to see him again. Wow, I've learned so much about you. So you're in the swamp because you were lost the whole time.
I was just lost, yeah. I'm surprised. I'm wondering if I chose the last one, which was the love of my life is green, if we would get married and live our life.
Maybe you turned into a green ogre.
Yeah. Maybe he was upset about my love affair with the dragon, you know? Yeah. It's kind of awkward.
It is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to play along, it's SciCatGames.com/quiz. The Shrek quiz. What are you doing in my swamp? There you go.
Mine was on BuzzFeed of what aesthetic you wanted to be.
Oh, and look at that. We're over now. Where did the time go? We got so busy doing quizzes and talking about dead presidents.
Dead presidents. I'm going to go watch The Mediocre Presidents, a song by The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
After this.
That's a classic. And I think they just hit up all the wigs.
All the wigs? Sweet. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to learn more about all of these presidents that...
Tippy Canoe and Tyler, too.
Well, so long, everybody, and thanks for listening.
Hope we saturated your thirst for knowledge, everyone.
Thirst for knowledge.
I kind of said that as a question. How can we end this thing on a
bang? Bang.
Bang. So long, everyone.
Bye-bye.